Hello everyone, my name is Jesse and welcome back to another Bakugan video. Today we're going to be talking about custom-made Bakugan and essentially like how to avoid a scam potentially, but also the existence of custom-made Bakugan and what that means for our Bakugan community. So I have one specific instance I really want to touch on, and then maybe we'll branch out after that, but I really want to stick to this one because it's been very apparent in the community right now, and I think it needs to be addressed. Recently, if you've been on the Bakugan subreddit or anywhere in the Bakugan community, you may have at some point seen a clear translucent Hydronoid, a clear translucent single head Hydronoid. Here is a picture right now. This is the first image I had seen of this when it came back a couple months ago, 3 months ago. Thank you, Reddit. It says it for me. But this was the first instance I had seen. It's a picture of a clear Hydronoid and a clear mutant Helios. And this blew up for quite a bit. It's got, 27 comments, 163 upvotes. It's a big deal. And the person was pretty silent about it for a while, and then finally it came out that this was a mold. It was a resin cast. And you can see right here it says craft right here, so that's the tag, the flare. And then the comments were deleted by the user, but I remember when this came out, this was said to be a custom-made, two custom-made Bakugan, the Hydronoid and the Helios. And, people were all asking about it, where'd you get the cast? Does anyone read the tag that says craft? All that good stuff. Two of the best Bakugan in a clear treatment, nice, So, all that good stuff. And then the owner actually says, please note, I did not mark this post with the flare craft. A moderator must have done so. But I remember this person saying, he made them. Because there's someone said, how did you get them? And he said he made them, but he deleted the comment, which is weird. But I'll get into evidence if you still think these are real for some reason. I have more evidence. For those of you who may not know what Helios and Hydronoid look like, Hydronoid looks like this, so he's totally kind of translucent, but there he is, not clear. But as you can see, same kind of ball form and shape. And then here is just a Helios. I don't have a clear one for reference. They do make them in clear. They're like Baku Phantoms, but this is a Helios right here. And what you can do to make a resin cast is take the Bakugan apart and mold it. So if you don't know what a mold is, basically it's like a putty, like a liquid that hardens around it. So you take the Bakugan apart and pour this putty, this mold, this like liquid onto it, and it hardens and makes a mold. You cut the mold a certain way, and then you can remove the pieces of the toy, so in this case, the pieces of the Hydronoid, and then after that, you have a complete mold, which then you can dump resin into. So resin is a hardening type of plastic. In this case, for these clear Bakugan, it would make a clear plastic-esque resin. So you dump that in. It's kind of like a thick, clear syrup. It hardens in the shape. So in this case, the exact shape of the Bakugan that you want to mold, and then you can reassemble it. So for a lot of these arguments, people are saying, oh, it's real because it's got the S/S/B markings on it, or it says made in China, or it's got, certain markings you couldn't get, yada, yada, if it was fake. And that's not right, because if you make a complete exact duplicate with a mold, you're going to have that mold of the S/S/B markings and made in China, right? So the second thing I want to go to is the most recent instance of this. This was posted 13 hours ago as me recording this by this user here, and he says, God, I love this mold. Again, mold, right? So as you can see, here is an awesome custom paint of a Hydronoid, and then a clear resin casted version of it. Hence he says mold, right? And this is interesting to me because, the other one, it was talking about, a moderator put the craft flare there or whatever, and I remember the dude saying he made it. So this is very clear evidence this is a handmade Bakugan. And it's really cool because you can make really slick customs with this, which is awesome. There's more evidence. This is, these clear Hydronoids, if you see them, they're not real. They're not made by Sega or Spin Master. The Bakugan company, whoever makes these, didn't make these. These are handmade by the community, which number one is awesome, but number two, has some very big problems, and I'm going to get into those as well. The last one, for more evidence, this is by Game Over Entertainment. This is on their Instagram. I've talked to the dude who runs this a little bit. He was big with the Bakugan 2 cards that I discovered. So there was an interesting thing there with that. But he has one of these, and it says right here on the picture, custom made Hydronoid, and even the description says custom clear version of single head Hydronoid. Since it's so difficult to get the original, decided to get the custom instead. And the post right after this was a custom titanium Dragonoid. So clear custom made version of titanium Dragonoid, and there it is. You can see the screws in it aren't all the same. One screw is like a star Phillips head screw. The other ones are the triangle screws you see normally in Bakugan, right? So this brings me to my problem, right? Number one, it's really cool as a community we can do this. I think it's awesome, especially considering Hydronoid is such a sought-after Bakugan and so difficult to get. Sellers have been hiking their prices up. You can probably find one now for like $300 to $400, and that's just outrageous for a toy, right? So it's cool that now we can, I guess, whoever's got this mold can make some money, which is pretty sick. But anyone that has some skills in molding can probably do this. Where it becomes bad is people are trying to sell them as prototypes, and people can up the price on these as well, right? So we've come to a place where some people are convinced these are real and they're prototypes when evidence kind of shows they're not. And I'm not saying there isn't a prototype Hydronoid somewhere, but I don't think a clear version of it is. Simply based on the evidence I just provided. People have been saying there are clear customs. People are saying they've made clear customs. Someone's got a mold of this and they're, selling it to people. So if you see one of these online and they're claiming it's real or there's a prototype of it or something like that, I'm going to guess 99% of the time it's probably false and that this is a resin cast. That being said, it's very easy to scam people because they can make these molded Bakugan and sell them. So for instance, if you see Helios online, another very rare and sought after Bakugan, it's probably going to be a resin cast being resold. So if you see a translucent Darkus, Helios, and they're selling it for like $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever, and you really want it, I would check to make sure it's actually real. And it's going to be very hard to do that because they can replicate it to a T. With all the markings and everything. They can make it perfect. And this is where scams get in the way. You can have some major scammers do this kind of stuff and sell them for a profit, selling Bakugan they claim is real when they really aren't. So what are some tips to figure this out? Well, number one, talk to the seller. If they're being sketchy about it and they're not really giving you any information about where they got this Bakugan from before to sell it, maybe stay clear. Do your research. Is the Bakugan you're looking at real? Is it legit? Are there other people who have this Bakugan and can say it's real? They've got it from, when they were young, or they got it from a Spin Master employee, etc., etc. There's plenty of stuff you can do to do that. And so the great thing about Game Over Entertainment's page is that they have posts of other things besides just these two, this Hydronoid and the Titanium Dragonoid. They have a couple of them. So they have this Gagagairu Bakutech, which is custom made. And I'll scroll through a couple of them here because they're actually really nice. And then, some more of the different Gagagairus right here. So you've got this nice white and rose colored one, which is really cool. And then you've got this Pyrus one right here. But again, glittered on there, it's very clearly custom made. He says it's custom made, and that's fine, which is really cool. But it just goes to show that these can be made, and that's a problem, If people are selling these as real to get more money out of them, that's an issue. And I'm all cool with these custom Bakugan sellers selling their product and making money, as long as they, say, hey, this was handmade, not by Spin Master or Sega. This was made by me or an artist or so on and so forth, It's not a legit Bakugan, it's custom made. But for these people trying to sell them as real products when they're not, it's an issue because it devalues everything the community stands for. Who wants to buy a fake Bakugan thinking it's real, right? And with Bakugan prices getting so high right now, this is an issue. You know, I think it's cool that we can buy a custom-made Hydronoid that's clear for, you know, maybe like 150 bucks instead of spending 300 or 400 on the real thing. That's awesome. That gives us so much opportunity to do other things like custom paint them and all that. But if they're selling them as real, or the people think they're real, that's an issue, you know. And this can be from sellers who think the product is real, you know, they think they have a real Hydronoid, and in fact they don't. You know, they got tricked by someone else who sold it to them, right? So this is just something that's been going around in the community. I wanted to bring awareness to it, and, you know, hopefully I explained it okay, enough to just, you know, get the general idea of what's going on out. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you seen this kind of stuff circulating? What's your opinion on it? It's pretty controversial, and it's also a very serious topic because it, you know, it affects everyone who's buying and selling Bakugan. You know, it's kind of a big deal. So I want to know what you guys think. But other than that, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe. My name is Jesse, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.